Hi. Hold on. Let me do something. So StreamYard stopped working on me connecting to Facebook, and I don't think it's connecting right now. So I'm just gonna post a link in the group real quick. There. So people want to. Anyway, I see nobody's in chat anyway, so that's fine. I haven't been on this camera in a while, and I thought I would try it on the computer. And so far, it's looking great. Yeah. Just got home from work. I just ate breakfast / dinner, and I was gonna do some stuff, but I wanted to go live a little bit early, talk about some stuff, because I want to get done earlier so I can go to bed earlier. Normally, I've had this set up for like an hour from now, but I changed it. Last minute changes. So yeah. I hope everybody's doing good. Honestly, there's not a lot to catch up on. I've been busy with some stuff behind the scenes as far as planning stuff. I'm gonna talk to a few people and then make an announcement on the online rally that I would like to do. As I won't be able to make it to this year's rally, I want to do something online. Although I was talking to somebody and they said even so far, as far as I know, there's no plans for a rally. Like, I haven't seen anything. I haven't seen an official date. So as far as I know, there's no plans for an official rally. Sorry, my allergies are just kicking my butt today. And my families. You can hear my dad in the background. So I was talking to somebody and they said they might still show up to Wisconsin and do something on their own. And I was like, well, as long as you go live so we can all see it. But yeah, I'm going to try to do something online. It would be like a Friday, Saturday, Sunday thing. Probably in June or July. And then, yeah. Next year, though, I'm definitely going to be coming out again if Brendan's still incarcerated. So I'll definitely be doing something next year. And it'll be mostly in front of Governor Evers' office. And then I still got postcards. I sent out a whole bunch. So if you normally are expecting a postcard from me, let me know if you get them. Or if you haven't gotten them, people should be getting them. And I still have, I have these postcards. And then I have these postcards. Hey, Roxana. And then I just recently got, and let me get them. Yeah, you're the only one here. But there we go. Excuse me. Oh, you did get some postcards? I was probably going to send you some more because I know you go through them really quickly. Did they show up in good quality, by the way? because I sent them in that new envelope that somebody helped me. Carol helped me organize. Yeah, they came good. Okay, because I know they've been coming really. I know they've been coming like because I usually use like the long envelopes, and they were being ripped, they're being torn. So Carol helps me find better envelopes, and then she helps me with the postage as far as advising me what kind of postage to use. So that's basically like that. So that's basically what she was helping me with, which was a great help. So all the postcards that I sent out were with her help. Yeah, so hopefully the new envelope helps avoid the tearing and all that. But I sent out a bunch of these ones. I still got more because a lot of people really enjoyed this one. So I'll be sending out more of these. Thank you, Roxana. Yeah, I've been trying to braid it at work to keep it nicer because I have a client that grabs and he'll grab at your hair, and sometimes he'll grab at my hair, and it doesn't really hurt or anything, but it will rip it. So I've been trying to braid it and keep it more out of my way to help it grow stronger. But yeah. So now it's all like curly and wavy from being braided. But yeah. But yeah, and so online rally, and then so we talked about this in the voice. So if you guys ever want to join Discord, the Discord link is in the description. If you guys ever want to, I'm gonna highlight that because I'll answer that as soon as I get this. If you ever want to join Discord, like I said, the link is in the description. If you join Discord, every Tuesdays and Thursdays, you will see me in the voice called blah blah blah, and that's where I'll be. And everybody, everyone's invited to join me in the voice, and we talk about all sorts of stuff. We talk about Brendan. We talk about life. Like we talk about whatever. We talk about ideas. People run ideas by me all the time. So if you guys ever want to join, here's the link to join Discord. And I post into there about the same amount of stuff that I would post in the group. So it's not necessarily you're missing anything other than that extra connection of talking with a bunch of supporters and stuff on voice. So, but yesterday we were talking on voice, and Linda was in there. Linda's doing a lot better, by the way. So hopefully we could see her Friday. But so me and Linda and a few other people were talking, and we bounced ideas off of each other. Really, it's really awesome because it goes from one thing to another thing to another thing, and the next thing you know, we've got this really great idea. So the really great idea is that I'm going to make a post probably in the working group and in the regular thing, and I'll say, if you had one thing to say to Governor Evers about Brendan Dassey, what would you say? Keep it 1 or 2, maybe 3 sentences long. My dad. And that's Ginger. And I will write them all out on a postcard, right? I'll write them on a postcard, and I'll put everything on there. I'll even put a stamp on there, and I'm going to mail them to either Linda or somebody who lives in Wisconsin, and then they can just take it to a mailbox and just drop it all in the mailbox. So then that way he gets a mass amount of these postcards all at once, all from the Wisconsin. They'll all be postmarked from Wisconsin. So, and we might do that once a month or once every month or something like that. So that's basically, I think it's a great idea because another person brought up, and it's the truth. You know, you've got all these people from around the world. All of our voices matter. So all of our voices matter. But Governor Evers only really has an obligation to listen to his constituents. And because of that, it's kind of frustrating because we can talk all day long to Governor Evers, but you know, if we're not a voter for him, then you know, he probably doesn't pay attention as nicely as a person who does vote in that state. You know what I mean? So, like for instance, let's say for instance, if Barb spoke to Governor Evers, she would probably get in faster to speak with Governor Evers than somebody like me, because I don't live there, I don't vote there, I don't pay taxes there. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I'm saying. I think that he would look at the postcards and see that they were all from Wisconsin, and maybe that might do something. I don't know. But it's definitely, I think it's a great idea. And we're going to do that starting in May, because we want to get, speaking of projects, the working project group that we have going, we have the next mailing date coming up. I'm going to share the group. So if you guys want to participate in that too. How many Wisconsin supporters we have in the group? I don't know. And I think it's like a handful. I know after I did the news thing, a bunch of people in Wisconsin actually did request to join the group. So I thought that was pretty cool. The news report I did. So we might have more than that. I should do a post and see. How's Brendan doing? So I talked to him last Saturday, and he's doing really well. He's always very cheerful and happy when I talk to him. And yeah, he had me order 2 of his drinks, so I ordered 2 of his drinks. And there was a third one that he wanted me to order, but they were out of stock on it, so I sent him an email, and I haven't heard back. I think the email has been kind of delayed because I sent him another email before that Saturday, and I asked him if he got it yet, and he said he hadn't yet. So I think they're dragging their feet on the emails again. But yeah, he's really happy with everything that we're doing out here for him. So, and I asked him too what he thought about doing an online rally, and he said go for it. So yeah. And I asked him about a few other things that people wanted, like somebody asked if there was they asked if I could ask him about a fun event that they thought of. So I asked him about it. He said he was going to think about it. So we'll see how that goes. But it sounds fun. I like the idea, but we'll see. But yeah, I don't think there's anything really much. I sent out still been sending out postcards to Governor Evers myself, so you know, don't stop doing that, guys. And what's this? New layout. Oh, what happened? What's going on? Ooh. Oh, this is interesting. Add item. Okay. I don't think so. I think last time I heard he wasn't allowed to have they weren't allowed to eat food or drink anything during the restaurant hours. Oh, you can like adjust all this. Hold on. Well, this is cool. I wonder how this is going to work though. Let's try it. It's too bad it can't go. Oh, it can! Wow. I wish you guys could see what I see. Okay, let me try something now. Save. Custom layout. One. Okay. Let me try something now. Actually, I've been wanting to talk about this. I have the tab open for a long time. And I just never got around to talking about it. But let's do this. Let's see how this goes. Okay, so this is the normal layout, and then this is the one that I just created, which isn't much different. I'm up here though now. Before I was down here, or I could be right down here. Ooh, it makes it bigger. I actually like this one better. But this is something that I actually been meaning to talk about because Steve Drizzen posted this on Twitter, and I thought it was an interesting news article. Wisconsin's new Supreme Court justice and the liberal majority not seen in 15 years. Steve Drizzen actually tweeted, and I'll bring up the tweet and I'll read it out to you. He actually tweeted something that was interesting, and I think Roxana, my only audience member here, saw the tweet too. But let me bring it up and read it so the rest of yous can read it or know what I'm talking about. Let me bring it up, sorry. Let's see. All right, so this is the tweet that Steve Drizzen tweeted on April 8th. He said, when I agreed to represent Brendan Dassey, a liberal majority sat on the Wisconsin Supreme Court. The court had just issued a great decision in a juvenile confession case. I believe that was that one kid. Like you guys know him. That one kid who almost mirrored Brendan Dassey's situation and case, except he wasn't recorded. And he was the reason why they passed a law saying that you need to record juveniles. Let me see. Positive feedback. Baby steps, promises, promises, negating Miranda, bypassing Miranda to the rescue. There was a kid. What was his name? We read about it in the book that I've been reading. And maybe it was more false confession basics. For the early 2000s. Right, here it is. Bye, bye, Roxana. Have a good day. Much love to you too, Roxana. Thank you for always being here and supporting Brendan. So the kid's name was Jarrell, CJ, or Jarrell CJ, or something like that. CJ Jarrell. And he was, oh, hey, Linda. If you want to come up here, Linda, you can. I'm just going to read this article. It's up to you. I'll post the link. You don't have to. I made it. You made it. I was just going to talk about this article. Tis up to you. So Jarrell, no, okay, that's cool. Or if anybody wants to come up, honestly, anybody's welcome to come up if they're listening. So this Jarrell, he almost almost identical to Brendan's situation, except I think he was involved in stealing or something like that. But he basically was interrogated almost the same way Brendan was, and but he didn't have it recorded. And because of that, they were able to toss out his confession because he said he was coerced. And so the Supreme Court of Wisconsin, did that. So I think that's what I'm just making the assumption that's what he's talking about, is that the case that they just gave a great decision on was that Jarrell kid. And but like he said in the tweet, by the time of Brendan's appeal, the court had changed. BD didn't stand a chance because he was no longer a liberal majority. Now, the reason why it's important against liberal versus conservative isn't saying that liberal is better than conservative or vice versa. It's mostly their stance on crime, their quote-unquote tough on crime stance. So liberals, generally speaking, are more forgiving when it comes to criminals and crimes and prosecuting and all that stuff. While conservatives are more of the tough on crime aspect, like no exceptions, no excuses, throw them all in prison for life kind of attitude. And unfortunately, when you have these wrongful conviction cases, a liberal audience, liberal judges, liberal courts tend to be more in favor for the person who is issuing the appeals than a conservative judge. So I don't want to. I know politics are a touchy subject, but unfortunately, politics have a lot to do with Brendan's case and why Brendan's in there still. And that's something to keep in mind when we vote for judicial changes. The conservative side of things are generally less forgiving when it comes to these cases than a liberal. But then again, if you have certain morals and stance, like as far as like, well, I'm just going to pick one that's controversial right now, abortion. You know, it's hard. I don't believe in voting by party, though. I believe by voting by what we need. And I think more people need to start doing that, but that's just my opinion. Anyway, yeah, it's a big part of the cases. So this is the article that Steve Drizzen posted on Twitter that I'm going to read. Wisconsin Supreme Court has shifted from conservative majority to liberal majority for the first time in 15 years, which, interesting enough, Brendan Dassey's case started, 16 years, 17 years ago? So, yeah, what they stand for. So that's interesting that this whole entire time Brendan was in prison, incarcerated, he never stood a chance, and maybe now he does. I don't know. Following the recent victory of Milwaukee County Judge Janet, I'm not going to even try that. I'm not even going to try that last name. I apologize. I don't want in the spring election, Tamia Fowicki's reports for the Milwaukee Journal Sentinel, we'll call her Judge P, who has more than 25 years of experience as a prosecutor and teaches Marquette Law School, is pro-choice and protested against Act 10 during her campaign. Okay. She will begin her 10-year term August 1st, taking over for retiring conservative Justice Patience D. Roggensack. With this change in leadership, Wisconsin Supreme Court will now be composed of Chief Justice Annette, who's a conservative, Kingsland Ziegler, who's a conservative, Anna Welsh Bradley, who's a liberal, Rebecca Grassley Bradley. Are they related? Conservative. Are Anna Welsh Bradley and Rebecca Grassley Bradley related? That's interesting. Rebecca Frank Dowlett, liberal, and Brian Haghorn, conservative, and Jill Karofsky, liberal. So let's see. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 conservatives, and then you got 1, 2, 3, 4. So it's not majority. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's split down the middle. Oh, and that's all they say. So we'll see what happens with that. That's interesting, right? You never know what could come of that. You know, if the more things start, maybe this is the kind of change that, you know, needs to happen for Brendan. Yeah, evens the playing field for once. Yeah, exactly. So maybe this is something that will definitely do something for Wisconsin. Maybe it could help Brendan somehow. I'm sure it will, as soon as they get to whatever filing they're going to be. I don't know. I'd like to think they are going to start doing something. Okay. I need to wipe my eye. My eyes are. I have really bad allergies. Look at my avatar, Linda. You see that? That's you. I was going to make this my profile picture on Facebook, but I haven't gotten around to it yet. Allergies are awful this time of year. They're really bad. Yeah, I'm actually pleasantly surprised too. I mostly vote liberal. Like, I have mostly liberal ideals, but then I also, like I said, I vote for whoever sounds better. And you know, I don't believe in voting just by the party or voting for what you think is the lesser of two evils. Because if you still vote for the lesser of two evils, you're still voting for an evil. And I just consciously, I can't do that. So, like, I'll vote for who sounds better than but if either one of them don't sound good, like, I'll be perfectly honest, I didn't vote for Biden. You know, I didn't vote for, was it Trump too? I didn't vote for either one of them. I didn't believe that either one of them were good president candidates. So I didn't vote for either one of them. I voted for somebody else. I voted for who I believed in. And I couldn't tell you who that was now because I think I'm getting elections all mixed up in my head now. Anyway. I did vote, hey Mary. I did vote for I did vote during the governor race and all that this year because that was really important to me. But yeah, I'm scratching my back, but my camera's working great. It's working out really great. I'm pleasantly surprised. So, and we just read an article and I didn't freeze. That's great. That's awesome. There was another article that I wanted to read. Is it still? Yes, it is. I opened them and then I'll share it too. I open them and then I leave them in, I leave the window open and then I remind myself to talk about that next time. And I just like, it just sits there. So this one was open on my phone because I read it from my phone, but let me get it real quick. Well, thank you, Linda. I'm happy to see you. I hope you can make it Friday. It's a big yawn. Well, how do you get to? You have to go over here. Yay! Okay, hold on. Let me see if this is how you get to. I just sent it to. Maybe I should send it to a different. By the way, if you guys are in the Brendan Talks group, somebody asked if they could post Steven's stuff in the Brendan Talks group. I generally want the page Brendan Talks to be just about Brendan. But in the chat that we have, if you guys want to, feel free to post anything Steven or Brendan related in there. So if you're a YouTube creator and you want to post your Steven videos, please feel free to do that there. Be more than happy to allow that. And hold on. Community chat. Here we stop it. What just happened there? There we go. So this is an article that Steve Dresden also posted that I thought was extremely interesting. Now, I am not saying that Brendan has ever been diagnosed with autism, Asperger's, anything, OCD, anything. As far as we know, Brendan has not been diagnosed with anything like that. We just know that he had below average IQ when he was 16 or 17 years old. IQs change, so, but because it's based on how you learn. Sorry, that bothers me. There's something on my screen. Okay. But this article was interesting because it talks about false confessions of people with autism. And I just think that I'm not saying Brendan has autism, but I do think that it's an interesting thing to bring up. Oh, now hold on. Now she's back? I'm sorry. My sister is being a pain in the ass. I made a post on Facebook and I tried to tag her in it and it wouldn't let me tag her in it. But now that I see that he does have a language issue, yes. Yes, he does. Okay. So this is from Autism Parenting Magazine, and it talks about false confessions of people with autism. It was estimated in 2012. You guys see it okay? Should I move? Maybe that would be better, because I don't want to block it. It was estimated in 2012 by the U.S. Department of Justice that 30% of prisoners have a form of cognitive disability. I can read the word, but I can't say the word while I'm looking at it. I have to, isn't that weird? Cognitive. I know it's cognitive, but when I try to sound it out by looking at it, I can't get it. Anyway, autism was included within the list of cognitive disabilities. However, there were no data that specifically indicated how many people within the autism spectrum are in the prison system. It has been proven that people with autism are known to give false confessions, and that law enforcement agencies should be trained in how to question a person with autism spectrum disorder. When my son was 23, he was questioned by our local police department and coerced into a false confession. He was told if he didn't confess, they would charge his mom with a crime. They also tried to befriend him by asking questions about his website, telling him that they had visited it. There are tactics that can confuse a person with autism. Like I said, I'm not saying Brendan was diagnosed with autism, but there are a lot of things that when we're reading this, we can think, yeah, that happened with Brendan. Unfortunately, many law enforcement agencies are unaware of the issues that occurred with questioning people with autism. In my son's case, when the police arrived at our home with a search warrant, I told the officers that my son had autism. Despite my having told them, the day after the police raided on our home, 2 officers questioned him alone. They spoke to me about his autism before questioning him, and they asked me how much he understood. I told them that he would have to be evaluated by an expert because I did not know the answer to that question. Despite my answer, he was interrogated without an autism advocate or lawyer. She should have, I don't know how old, her son was 22? Yeah, I would have told him, don't talk to them without a lawyer. But I guess there's not much you can do if he's the adult. Dennis is a professional investigator and law enforcement trainer who has a son with autism. As a result of the way people on the spectrum are often treated, he trains law enforcement on how to question people who have autism spectrum disorder and how they are prone to give false confessions. Upon reading Dee's piece called Interview and Interrogation with People with Autism, including Asperger's syndrome, I have come to the conclusion that people with autism are easy targets for getting false confessions. His paper can be found in PDF format online at this link, and I'm going to post it here in the chat for you all. If you'd like, and maybe have a discussion on this, Linda, sometime in the future. There's the PDF. If anybody wants to read it on their own. Yeah, maybe we can have a live about it, because I think that would be very interesting to read. According to the paper, people with autism can give misleading indications of guilt because of the sophisticated form of echolalia, trickery and deceit, and believing that the police officers are authority figures. This creates a justice system where all autistic individuals are at a disadvantage due to the special techniques that police officers and other law enforcement personnel apply in questioning them. Furthermore, we were told by my son's lawyer at the time that he would not bring up autism during his trial because autism can't be used as a defense, nor could his family testify on his behalf. What? His lawyer would not use it to explain his false confession either. The justice system does not allow an individual with autism to use a diagnosis as a defense, which also means that autism is not a viable reason for a false confession. It's a catch-22 situation. Yeah, I guess they weren't allowed to say that because this person has autism, that they were easily subjected to a false confession. Therefore, everything this person said was false during the interrogation. Like, the courts wouldn't have accepted that. Yeah. I agree. You would think that they would allow that they have different thinking. Exactly. Because that is a factor. The judicial system seems to be set up in such a way that people with autism are overlooked by a blind spot that erodes their ability to receive the same justice that people without disabilities receive. How can the justice system still continue to ignore the plights of people with autism within the current legal system? Is it justice for all or justice for some? I find disturbing that many law enforcement agencies have not been trained in how to deal with people with autism or how to question them. It's even more shocking when we realize that autism currently affects 1 in 68 people. Why hasn't the justice system started to train all law enforcement agencies? How many false confessions have people with autism made? Let's take every word for what that. Yeah, I have a cousin who has autism, functioning autism. My uncle, I believe, has a high functioning autism. My grandfather also had a high functioning autism. I think, and I know my mom's probably listening in the background, I think my mom even has a high functioning autism. And I even think sometimes I do have some form of high functioning autism. I think it's just, we just see things differently. We just interpret things differently. There's nothing wrong with it. There's no shame in it. But if you took my cousin and tried to interrogate him, because his autism, I think, is a little bit more on the spectrum than, let's say, my uncle, for instance. If you took him and interrogated him, I do think that he would be easier to make a false confession than, like, let's say my uncle. But my uncle, a lot of my family has a healthy, I call it a healthy distaste for law enforcement. So, but I think my cousin would definitely be more of a target than the rest of us. But yeah, it's actually more common than people think, and there's all sorts of different levels and stuff to it. So yeah, my granddaughter was just diagnosed with it as well. Yeah, you know, and I think that it just means you learn differently. You see things differently and you learn differently, and you interpret things differently. And a lot of people are word for word, like my mom. My mom is, what you say is what you mean. She doesn't take sarcasm very well. So if I'm joking with her, I have to be careful because she could think I'm being serious. Like it happened this morning. She thought I really, because I was talking to my friend on the phone and I was talking about bringing home a pig. And I was joking, of course, but my mom thought I was being serious. she thought I was really going to bring, and I got, like, no, you can't do that. No, I'm just joking. But yeah, that's I understand sarcasm, but like my mom doesn't, you know. So, Brendan, like I said, I don't know if Brendan does or doesn't. He hasn't been formally diagnosed as somebody with autism, but I can tell you that he might have like on the same, like where if I think I like if from a scale from 1 to 10, I think I'm like a 1, right? And I think he would be like a 1 too. That's just my personal opinion from talking with him and knowing him. But he wasn't formally diagnosed or anything like that that I'm aware of. And in this article, though, a lot of the same characteristics when it comes to a wrongful conviction, especially with Brendan's case, kind of mirrors it. So there are many actions that can be done to prevent adults and children with autism from being in danger of giving false confessions when they're being questioned by police. There are autism response cards that can be purchased or printed from your computer that explain about autism and that people with autism are at risk of making a false confession. These cards can be given to an officer, firefighter, or ETM technician in the event of an emergency. So I guess that means that if you're going to be in a situation, you can print off these cards and hold them on you. And if you have like a family member, or even if you, and you can have oh, okay. You can have you can hand them off to the police officer. And okay, it's a dog.
I got the dog.
You need a holder. Okay.
There you go, Ginger.
Okay. Bye. People with autism should not answer the questions until they are able to get a lawyer. Anybody. I wish that I had this information back when this happened to my son, because none of this would have ever happened to him if I had been prepared with what to do in the face of a legal situation. I was ignorant at the time that this happened to my son. So it's very important to educate parents with children with autism spectrum disorder to prevent this from happening to others in the future. It is important to educate all parents, no matter who you are or what your kid has, if they have autism or not. Don't talk to a police officer without a lawyer. But especially if your kid has autism. There are also other changes that can be made within our legal system to assist people with autism during their questioning by police. Whether as a suspect or as a witness, I read a paper called Police Interviewing and Witnesses and Defendants with Autism, What is the Best Practice? And learned that the United Kingdom has registered intermediators, which are communication specialists that are able to assist in interviewing process of individuals with autism, which is something Brendan desperately needed because of the way he communicates. That's no worries, Linda. Bye. Hope you have a good day. These intermediaries can be psychologists, speech and language therapists, social workers, teachers, nurses who have completed training organized by the UK's Ministry of Justice. Their role is in helping to assist with the communication difficulties of someone with autism being questioned. Their role is impartial, so therefore they are not working for the prosecutor or the defense. It would be helpful if we had some programs enabled here in the United States, as well as other countries all around the world. I agree. Why isn't this happening? This person would be able to act as an autism advocate within the legal system. In the United States, we have autism advocates that assist with individualized education program, IEP, meetings within the school system, but what we need are autism advocates that can be available to help with legal matters also. The system would undoubtedly reduce, if not eliminate altogether, the number of incidents of people with autism giving false confessions. For now, my son continues to deal with an unjust and unbiased judicial system that makes it almost impossible for him to get his conviction overturned. The legal system is broken, but it can be fixed. All that is needed is for someone to present the complexities of cases with autism and false confessions to people in the justice system. It may take years to set up a fair system for those who have disabilities like autism, but it is my hope that the guidelines will eventually be put into place to help protect and prevent people with autism from ever giving a false confession. I hope that this change will happen in the next few years to accommodate the increasing number of children with autism or an autism spectrum disorder. If these changes do not take place soon, then they are going to see more people with autism in prison or jail for crimes they did not commit. That would be a tragedy. So that's the article, autism, from the Autism Parenting magazine that I've been meaning to read to you guys that I haven't yet. Very interesting article, like I said. There's a link for it if you guys want to read it yourself. Maybe in the near future, I can do a live where we read that PDF and we can break it down more. Oh, there we go. It's being slow. So yeah, that's all I really have today. Those two articles that I just read, and then talking about the postcards, and then, like I said, the working group. I think the Canada dates are coming up for sending Canada. So Canada is April 14th, which is in 2 days. So make sure if you're in Canada, you get your stuff ready to send to Governor Evers. And then April 17th is for the United States people to send their packet, but April 20th is for Wisconsin residents. So if you keep an eye out, guys, for those days. Canada's coming up, and the US coming up in 5 days, so make sure everything's printed off. If you have any questions about anything about that particular project, please message me or Carol or any of the other admins there, and we can get some questions answered. And yeah, also this weekend, a side note, This weekend is actually going to be the Innocence Project's national conference, Innocence Conference that they have once a year. And it's going to be in Phoenix this weekend. And I can't go because, one, I have to work Friday night. And yeah. And two, for a Joe Schmo like me, it costs $500. So I cannot afford that. But maybe next year, if it's in Phoenix again, I'll make the effort to put money aside and then actually go, because it looks like it would be a fun event. Because they have all sorts of like presentations and stuff that I would love to sit in. So but I think I was kind of looking, and it looks like I can actually download the what they're actually going to be talking about. Focus areas, yeah. See, so they're going to talk about case intake, evaluation, investigation, forensic science, social science, post-conviction, litigation, post-release, re-entry support. That's cool. So I would be interested in. Oh, hey, Carol. Race and wrongful conviction is one that I would love to sit in on. Emerging areas, mass exoneration, post-humorous exoneration, alternative pathways to release, manifest injustice, suspect development, AI, machine learning, all sorts of really great things I would love to listen to, but I don't have the $500 to do. See, and then it says to access and review materials, so maybe I can download it and just read it. Collaboration. Cooperation. Maybe I'll just do that. Maybe I'll just read that stuff. Digging into data. Lives impacted and lessons. Was that learned? Harvard report on racial disparity in Mass State. If it all is here, then why pay the $500 to? I don't get it. Oh, it won't let me. Wait. How to frame social shift, social open with. Okay, now it's letting me open. Yeah, I'm looking at it, Carol. I was just saying, maybe it looks like I can just download the PDF of what they're going to be talking about and read it. So that's cool. I'll have to look through it more. But yeah. Anyway, I guess long story short, if anybody who's going to this thing this weekend down in Phoenix, if you are going, and you're traveling far, I wish you safe travels. I hope you all enjoy the beautiful weather we're having this time of year. It's gorgeous out there. Like, it's absolutely perfect weather, at least up here in Payson, where I live. There's my dog. Ginger. I don't know what the weather's going to be like down there, but it's absolutely perfect up here in Payson. And right now it's 83 degrees down in Phoenix, which is pretty decent. And it looks like this weekend it's going to be really hot, actually. It's going to be in the 90s. Oh, but it's not as bad as 100. Oh, is she going to be a speaker? Well, that's cool. See, now I wish I can go. Aw. What day is she going to be a speaker on? Do you know? Hey, Jay. Hallroom. Oh, yeah, CW. Wait. I don't know. I couldn't go Friday even if I wanted to. That's unfortunate. Carol told me I should still go and hang out in the lobby. I'm like, that's creepy. That's creepy behavior, isn't it? But you could do almost anything in life if you have the confidence to do it. That's also what I said. You can do anything you want to do in life as long as you have the confidence to do it. And I do not have the confidence to do something like that, to go and hang out in the lobby like that. Some people can pull that off. If you have the confidence to do it, and then do it. But I don't. I'm too socially awkward. Like, I have social anxiety, so I would be, even if I did pay to go to this thing, I would be hiding someplace or in the back or whatever, and just like hiding. Like, yeah, I wouldn't have the guts to go up to anybody if I didn't know them already. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, if Laura's going to be a speaker, I wish her safe travels, and I hope they enjoy the weather that we're going to be having. Oh, speakers, she's right there. Door. Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah. I recognize that Rebecca Brown. She was in talking about one of the things that I saw on the Innocent Project thing. I recognize that lady's face. A lot of females. I don't know. There's an Honorable Michael Donnelly. That's a cool name. Cornelius Dupree. Oh, Sean Ellis. Isn't he a wrongfully convicted man? Sean Ellis? I think so. A lot of speakers. It's going to be a busy weekend. Mark Gosby. He is the Innocent Project director. That's what I know. This guy, I don't know, but he looks like he's in the lab, so that would be an interesting guy to listen to. Science. A lot of people. Ricky Kidd. Is that what you're reading? What is happening? The Innocent Project is having their national conference this weekend in Phoenix. They did it last year, and I think they're I think it's just going to be every year in Phoenix. But Ricky Kidd, he was wrongfully convicted in Missouri. It is not CrimeCon. It is the Innocence Project conference. Yeah, but Ricky Kidd, I recognize that guy. Page 2. Yeah, it's a lot of people. That looks like a judge, Nina Morrison. So that's interesting. There's going to be a judge there. Yep, there's Laura Nyrider. Yeah, nobody else I'm recognizing right off the bat. I'm really bad with names, so I'm kind of looking at faces. Yeah, Innocent Project Conference. There's this very check, and I recognize the name or maybe the face. Let's click on that. Professor of Law at Benjamin something Cardozo School of Law in New York City. He's a lawyer. DNA evidence exonerate wrongfully convicted. He published extensively in these areas, including a book with Jim Dyer. Oh, Actual Innocence, When Justice Goes Wrong and How to Make It Right. Maybe it's from that book I remember seeing his name. I don't know. His face kind of looks familiar to me, too. What is it, Ginger? What is it, Ginger? Everybody's got a familiar face. That's it. Yeah, those are the only things I recognize. But yeah, so yeah, hopefully it goes well. I hope everybody has a good time down there. I think one person that I know is going to be down there. He said he was going to go Friday. So I won't say who, because of privacy. I'm sure some people can guess if they really know me. But anyway, yeah, so I hope everybody has fun and safe travels out there. And if anybody who is listening to this is going and they want to come up to Payson, I will not be available because I am working, maybe. But we've got tons of elk up here and the weather is much nicer than Phoenix. Maybe they should have the Innocent Project thing up here in Payson. It would be much nicer and more convenient for me. Or even Flagstaff. Why pick Payson? Flagstaff would be a much better place. So much more beautiful. Don't you think so, Ginger? I think so. I don't like Phoenix. Anyway, so. But yeah. I think that's all I really have. Now I'm starting to babble and I need to lay down because it's getting late and I've been live for much longer than I planned on being. So I hope everybody has a great day, and I'll talk to you all later. And see you Friday.
means everything, you know. It means everything, you know, to have a family that loves and supports me no matter what, and they always have my back, you know.
Yeah, and it really is heartening to know that so many people care and still care. And what would you tell people that want to get involved, that have seen your story, who didn't really have any idea of what goes on in our justice system, but now they do? Is there anything particular that you could advise someone?
Just keep fighting for me and keep showing your love and support.